So little Kenzie here, we're moving on from the energy and the putting his paws on our chests and all that kind of stuff. Now we're starting to look at sit, wait and stay for a number of different reasons. Threshold training, we don't want him bounding out into a street. We don't want him breaking or running into a dangerous area. So we want him to realise and understand what wait or stay actually means, i.e. do not move. So we've just started looking at this, sit. Now, I start off with two things. One is time. I want any dog, doesn't matter who they are, I want any dog to sit and stay and wait, and I'm going to prolong and build up that time period that dog is doing it. And I'm rewarding this dog for not doing it, okay, or not moving. The next thing I'm going to do when the dog is theoretically moving, okay, I'm going to then put distance into it. So time the first one, distance the second one. So then I'm going to start moving away from the dog, okay, but I'm always returning to the dog, and that's vitally important, okay. Now I'm going to, those are the key sort of fundamental ways that I look at this, sit. Now I'm going to talk specifically about him, okay. Look at what happens to his backside when I try to reward him for not moving, okay, sit. So because of this, I'm going to have to go back a couple of steps and teach him to sit more effectively, more properly. Sit, okay? Because this shows me that if I rush this element of training or I'm too keen to push forward, okay, he's not going to sit and wait and stay, because look at what he instinctively does out of habit. That is not good enough, okay? What we want is for a dog to not move, i.e. stay in this position when we tell him to wait or stay. However, I've got to reward him to show him he is doing right, to show him he's correct, he's not doing anything wrong. Sit. But when I do that, look at what happens. He instinctively breaks out of that wait position, okay? So even before I start putting distance into it, because he's naturally going to follow me, because when I say sit, wait or stay, okay, if I reward him like so, he stands up and he's already look, exactly what I'm trying to say. He's already halfway following me, okay? So train the dog in front of you basically is this point, okay? But do not rush the training. Do not move on when you're teaching the dog unless it's 100% perfect, okay? Like this. That's not good enough, okay? Sit. So what I'm going to have to do now is go back, as I said, a couple of steps and teach him what a sit means. A sit is a sit. It's not a sit and then stand up when you want to, okay? Sit. So again, I'm looking at that ground, but this isn't about the claiming the ground. This isn't about that, because look what happens. I claim the ground, offer him the ward, instinctively just stands up to take it. Okay, so we're not at the position yet where we can start teaching him an effective sit, wait and stay because of what we're dealing with here. So what I would do once we've nailed this sit, don't move, is build up that time from 10 seconds to 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Sit, wait, stay. Use whatever word you like. The key thing is, and I'm not going to do it because we've all seen how detrimental it is, I would be rewarding him, okay, nothing in my hand, I would be rewarding him for not moving, okay, good lad. But if you notice, if I take that food away, his arse doesn't move, yeah? So I'm relying on good lad, a little bit of physical praise, a little bit of good boy, good boy, sit. So we can't push it too far. Once he's there, steady, still, sitting, and not moving for a period of time, then what I would do is I would increase distance. But good boy, I'm always stepping back into him. Come on, here, sit. I'm always stepping back into him, stay there, to reward him. Stay there. See, and this is my point. See him creeping towards me. He's creeping towards me because he's already halfway through that process, because his arse isn't on the floor, okay? Now you've got to really break these things down and look at each individual component to get it right. And if something is going to be detrimental in the future, Stop, don't continue. Go back a couple of steps, figure out what you've got to work on before you then progress with that skill. Kenzie, sit. Good. There you go. So even though I'm not still giving him food, he's still bouncing up for it. Okay, so I need to look at that in more detail before we take this any further. Sit. So I would back away. I would then return to him. Good boy, stay there. Back away a bit further. Good boy, stay there. And then I would just increase this distance. Good boy. Rewarding him for not coming to me. Stay there. Bit more now. Stay there. Good. Good. Stay there. So first thing is time. Stay there. And I am not taking my eye off that little dog, because that, like that, if he thinks about moving, sit, stay there. I'm going to reprimand him with my voice. Stay there. Like so. But look at how I've just managed to increase this distance. Good. Reward. Heel. Sit. Like so. Stay there. Always twitch there. Stay there. Sit. Always returning to him. Good boy. Like so. Stay there. Good. The reason why I say stay, not wait, is because if you've noticed, if he twitches, all I have to do is that, and that's enough to, good lads. That's enough to get him back on his backside and not for him not to move. Never, ever, ever, while I'm teaching a sit and wait, do I call a dog to me, okay? Because I don't want to break that focus. Now, sometimes when I'm teaching a recall, I go against the grain a little bit, and I will actively, purposefully sit a dog up and call a dog to me. The reason why I do that is because I want to very, very quickly add value to that word come, okay? So picture the scene, dog sitting up there. I would create some distance and I would go, Fido, come, wallop, in you go with a reward, okay? However, once that dog has got that skill and learned the value of that recall word as in come, I will not continue to do it, because if we do continue to do it, we're then going to hinder what we're trying to achieve here, which is a solid sit, wait and stay. Because if you do continue to recall a dog that you've asked to sit, wait and stay, it's going to preempt that positivity. It's going to preempt that reward. And it's going to constantly keep breaking and coming to you, okay? So when I'm teaching a recall, yes, I do go against the grain. But the reason why I do that initially is so that I've got the dog's focus, the dog's attention, and the dog is looking at me, so I can very, very quickly add value to the word come. To us, it's a word. To him, it's a sound. Once the dog realizes the value and understands what come means, I knock it straight on the head. Okay, and then we start working with dogs that are looking away from us and then recalling them when they're distracted and recalling them when they're looking another way. Okay. But as I say, when we're doing this, we are always returning to him. So he's had a couple of minutes to himself. Kenzie, sit. Good. Stay there. Twitch there. But I'm always backing to him. Good lad. Stay there. Sit. Now, just as I've been talking and teaching here, I'm not going to give him a food reward. Good. Because if you notice, if I do, the arse moves. If I don't, the arse stays on the floor. Okay, so I'm doing this. Good, stay there. See that? As I'm doing this, stay there. Good. Good lad. Sit. Stay there. Good. I'm building up the time, building up the distance, but I'm starting to put some movement into it. I'm starting to walk round the dog. Never, ever, ever taking my eye off this dog. Because as you've just seen, if he twitches, I need to handle it vocally. I need to stop him from doing that with my voice. But it's a very good lad. So here, come on in. And we've pushed it too far. Kenzie, sit. Kenzie, good. We pushed his patience too far there. Sit. Still a baby. But we've got to do this in bite-sized chunks, haven't we, mate? Good. So little Kenzie, sit, wait, stay for good lad, can't get on, for thresholds, for doorways, for car boots, for road junctions, zebra crossings and all that kind of stuff. Another thing, you know, I'm only ever doing this in the garden because we've got to start off in a very, very low distractional environment. There is no point in me trying to teach him to sit, wait and stay or come or recall or whatever outside in the big wide world. So to give him half a fighting chance of learning a lesson quickly, learning a lesson when he's in the right mindset, and we can reward him effectively, we can praise him effectively and do it more beneficial for him to learn, we've got to do it with no distractions. Yeah, you can do this in your lounge. You can do what I've just done here in your kitchen, okay? But make sure you do just that. Start off teaching a new lesson with zero distractions whatsoever. Benzie, come here. Sit there. Right, we're going to have to look at your sit. We're going to think about food, whether we do food or not do food. And everything changes. Everything changes depending on what the dog is like sitting in front of you. The next dog that comes to us, or the 2 or 3 that are in there waiting to come out to be taught, we'll completely teach them in a different way because they're different dogs. Good. Even though I'm talking, I'm never taking my eye off of him. Good lad. Yes. Good boy. Well done. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. Good lad.